I think I always had a really good look. It was always very striking. I was influenced, I guess, by Marilyn Monroe and then later on Jessica Rabbit. When I worked as a dominatrix, a lot of the girls would wear fake ponytails and wigs. I really got into that. Ever since then, like I always have some kind of hairpiece or wig or something. I loved like drawings of women, like when I wear the transparent things. It's definitely like Vargas and old like Fredericks of Hollywood catalogs. I would look at those and try to look like that. Hi W Magazine, it's Amanda Lepore, and this is my life in parties. I grew up in New Jersey. When I first came to New York, I loved it. I thought it was much more fast-paced and you could get a lot of things done. I met this ex-Marine that was into S&M, and he said that his ex-girlfriend worked in a dungeon. He actually brought me there, and I started working as a dominatrix. While I was a dominatrix, I had a friend that brought me to Disco 2000 at Limelight. Michael Alec was the party promoter. He was like really fun. You know, he would fake being drunk and like fucked up and brought different people together, like who knew how to do that. At first he wanted me to do the door, but I was letting everyone in for free. They didn't want me to do that because I wasn't making money for the club. So Michael Alec hired me to go-go dance. You dress up and they lower the cage down and then they put it up there and then they just leave you there for a half hour, 45 minutes. 2 weeks later, I did the Joan Rivers show with the club kids.
Last but not least, Amanda Lepore. So
No.
Amanda isn't paid?
No,
Right.
she's somebody that, you know, somebody would want at their party maybe because of the way she looks or
Right.
because of her personality.
I don't have any time to work because I'm too busy getting ready all the time we're going out.
So how do you live, Amanda? Spangles cost.
Well, I don't know, just, you know, I dress for men. I'm just like a man's fantasy of the ideal woman, and I always get what I want.
It was really quick. I was definitely in the New York Post, a lot of the downtown magazines, and I became like Girl of the Minute. It's been a long minute. My childhood was kind of like a disaster. My mother was schizophrenic. She would imagine like people switching her bushes or furniture and things. I knew that this was all imagined in her head, but I would say, yes, I saw the women dig up your bushes, but you know what? Like, she put hers and they're better. She would bond with me and trust me. When she was hospitalized one time, the nanny made like a Barbie doll dress for me. I remember it was like pink satin, and I was like so happy. I think that's what got me into wanting to be a fashion designer. When I was little, I thought that I was a girl. I didn't know anything else, and I thought that my parents were torturing me, cutting my hair and making me wear boys' clothes. I was really harassed, and what you see is probably what I created from protecting myself. I started my transition around 13. There was a girl that was an outcast in my town, and she was kind of like, got made fun of being promiscuous, and I got made fun of, you know, being a girl. So we kind of got along. She was like working in a go-go bar, and she was also prostituting as well. She took me to the bar to sell clothes that I would make. I would make like pasties and like these fringe necklaces. She thought that there was a trans girl that worked there, and I met her and she traded me hormones. I mean, I don't recommend doing this, but I started taking them without like a doctor's supervision. I was still in puberty, so I got breasts within like a month. After I had my sex change, I got married. My husband had a prescription pill problem. He was Gemini, so he would like be different personalities and stuff, and he got violent. I wanted to leave my husband for a long time and was putting money aside that he would give me to buy things. There was actually a guy at the plastic surgeon's office that had some procedures done and was doing like a show in New York, and he would always invite me, and then I told him that, you know, my husband wouldn't let me go out and all this stuff, and they said, that's terrible. If you ever want to leave him, like, you could stay with me. That's how I ended up in New York. This is me and one of my best friends, David LaChapelle. The first photographs that I did with David LaChapelle was this plastic surgery fashion story. He always told me that he used me because I modeled really good. I would hold poses. Actually, when they did that diamond picture, he said, "Don't move, it's perfect, it's perfect, it's perfect." And they took a break for dinner. When he came back, I was still in that pose. David loved me going out naked. We were going to an Azadine Elia show, David LaChapelle and I. He disappeared with Naomi Campbell, and I was kind of just by myself. People were like, "Well, why are you naked?" And I just said, "Oh, Azadine didn't lend me a dress, so I didn't want to wear anything." I think nudity could definitely be art and expression and political statement, actually. This is one of my outfits with nipple pasties and gloves and the G-string and the garter belt. You see me like that a lot because I like to take my clothes off. I used to just travel for shows and things, and I would just get completely naked. I would get nightclubs in trouble as well because they didn't have cabaret license and I was naked. I saw Dita Von Teese around then, like late 90s, I guess, and I started just shifting more into that glam kind of thing with the pasties and everything. I rhinestone my purses and shoes to match my outfits. This is a Louboutin, and I just like customized it and just did the heel. Also like tiny mirrors and lipsticks as well. Actually, I do a burlesque act where I strip and then take off the panties and then have a bigger lipstick that's rhinestoned and inside my pussy, and I take that out and then I'll do the lipstick at the end. Those were photographs by Marco Albondo. They're just at the club. I think that one's at Battle Home. I met Marco at Hero. We became really close friends, and when I started traveling, he traveled with me. I think that clubs are definitely like a family situation, and you have your chosen family, and you get really close with those people, and they're really in your life, especially like if you're alternative, if you're gay or trans or feel different. It's so important, I think. Me and Pam became kind of close from David LaChapelle. She was very nice and kind of down to earth and kind of like a tomboy. Like she didn't know how to do her own makeup or hair or anything, which really surprised me because she was like on a magazine cover every 5 minutes. Jason Wu did the doll of me. It was really fabulous. It had nipples and a pussy. It had wigs that you could change, and it also had my perfume that I had out at that time baked into the porcelain, so it permanently smelled. It was like incredible to have my own doll of me after worshipping Barbies as a child. This is at a nightclub where I was premiering my song, My Pussy. Pussy, my pussy. My pussy is famous. I was hanging out with Caswell. He was like a gay rapper, really talented songwriter. He was watching me party and he wrote Champagne, and that was the first one that I did. That's when I performed at the Bushwick Drag Festival. I did a song and I did a burlesque show with the lipstick out of the pussy. I think I performed Champagne. I get kind of sick of performing Champagne, but Suzanne Barsh loves that song. I drink champagne like Marilyn and use it to wash down my Vicodin. My head starts to spin, so I drink some more. I'm a glass in the air when you start to pour. I'm a champagne whore. I love the bubbles, bigger champagne glasses to make it a double. Assemble at the club at 4 a.m. Wake up and do it again. That was from the Balenciaga 24 show. It was incredible. They were so good to me. I didn't know what to expect when they asked me because I didn't know if they were going to change my style, but they really kept it glamorous and I felt like so respected. I see my influence everywhere. A lot of designers tell me that I'm on the mood board all the time. Actually, I performed someplace in Middle America and there was all these trans girls with boobs and everything, like 12 of them, and they all transitioned because they saw me. That was like really rewarding, you know. I was like, wow, I did something good. I think it's really important to be kind and respect people. My life motto is to be kind. I think that's the most important thing. If people aren't supportive to you, you have to get out of that situation and be around people that will support you, because it's hard enough to do by yourself, let alone with people knocking you. I mean, it doesn't matter how many people hate you as long as there's people that love you as well. Thank you, W Magazine. That was my life in parties, and I'll see you out at the parties.